Hello everybody and welcome to TJ's Lego Room, and today I'm once again excited to bring to you a mock. And not just any mock, but it's a mock that I've shown you before. But for those of you who are familiar with my channel, you know that the only reason I show you a mock a second time is either I've made some significant improvements or I've got instructions for you, and that is the case today. I have instructions up on Rebrickable.com right now for my Shield Deuce and a half with the triple cannon on the back in the bed. But before we get into that, I did want to just throw out a couple of things for you guys real quick. In my retrospective last week, since I took a little bit of a break from doing my usual videos, I looked over the stats for the ATTC and the instructions for that, and I suddenly realized that I had kind of lost track of what my goals were when I started putting up instructions. A lot of my builds are way too expensive to build in person, and for that reason I decided to sell my instructions for about $5 a piece US. So that's what I did, and when I put the ATTC up, I listed it for $15 for the instructions. And then when I was thinking about it, I realized that it was $1,000 to try to build it just from parts. And to charge people $15 for the instructions for a build that is fairly unlikely that they're ever going to do seemed a little bit absurd. So what I've done is I went back to my original idea, and I have the instructions for the ATTC reduced down to $5. Because I realized that even though you may not be able to build it, for $5 you can support me and what I'm doing, as well as see how the thing is made and possibly learn some new techniques and kind of how I made the structure for it. So you're welcome, Galaxy. I've reduced the price on the ATTC from $15 to $5. For everybody on the Patreon with coupons, those coupons are still valid, but instead of just bringing it down to what it was before, now you can get the 80% off and get the instructions for $1. So you're welcome again. The other thing I wanted to talk about just real quick is July 1st is the deadline for the Crest Mark II contest. And I just wanted to show you guys this really quick. This is a deconstructed Razor Crest because I have officially started work on my own. You may even be able to see it in this room right now. Just a little hint. All right, and then the last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys or let you know is that after the Crest Mark II contest, we're going to pretty much spend July taking a break and just working on our own, whatever you want. It's kind of in the middle of summer anyway, so not a lot of people are going to be going on vacation. So what I figured we'd do is starting in August, we're going to start the next Star Wars based contest for TJ's Lego Room. So I hope you guys are excited because I'm super excited, and it's actually something I don't know. I don't want to give too many hints away, but there's a couple people out there who already know what the contest is going to be because your entries already won. I'll leave it right there for now. But in the meantime, let's get into this deuce and a half that I talked about, right? All right. So here we have my Shield Deuce and a half that I created quite a while ago. Deuce and a halves were my dad's absolute favorite, or one of his absolute favorite military vehicles. We actually owned one of these monstrosities, and in real life they actually have 10 wheels. So they've got 8 wheels in the back and 2 in the front. This particular model just has 6, so it's not quite a deuce and a half in strength or perfection, but I think it has a pretty cool looking profile. It's really high up the ground like one of these guys are. The really fun part for me is that I actually drove one of these. And what I really wish I would have been able to do is to drive it to school. I went to high school in a city where there was a lot of rich kids and their parents all bought them Mustangs. I ended up driving an '86 Corvette for a little while. That was really fun. it was very cheap. Before you get crazy and think that my parents were very wealthy as well, it was a pretty cheap one. And I was able to kind of make everybody mad that I had a Corvette and they all had these those cheapo Mustangs. They were the early 2000s Mustangs that were more like just regular coupes and were like the same price as a Honda Civic in some instances. But my Corvette was pretty awesome, and purple. So we also had this Deuce and a Half, and I really wish I would have been able to drive it to school. The other vehicle that we had was a flat fender 47 Willys Jeep. So it was the old pizza cutter Jeep that you'd see sometimes in like World War II movies on the Allied side. Those are the Jeeps that they used. Pizza cutter wheels are the super thin ones that they had on there that are much thinner than what you'd have on a normal vehicle these days. But Deuce and a Half, these things were amazing. My dad used to drive it up the canyons up close by where I lived in Salt Lake County, and we could point it anywhere we wanted to go, and it would go all the way. Those 8 drive wheels in the back were pretty ridiculous. Speaking of drives, I actually did include a drivetrain from the front to the back just for fun. It's really cool because this vehicle could technically have all 10 wheels turning all at once. And because of that, it was almost impossible to get this thing stuck. And even though my dad got every vehicle he ever had stuck, this is the one he couldn't do. So just to throw that out there for you. This particular one is an old Shield Deuce and a Half. So we actually are running the old Shield logo on the side and on the top, using some stickers from the Loki's Cosmic Cube Escape set. You can see the actual set it came from is actually right over there. Kind of. This is a modification that I've done that I will have instructions for as well. But that was the little truck that came with it. So we actually used those same stickers on here for our Deuce and a Half. But then on the back we have the modern Shield logo, which I always which I know some people have referred to as the Shield/Hydra logo, because this is like the modern day version of it. And it is on this triple cannon, which was inspired by the Winter Soldier, because the triple cannons on the helicarriers were pretty sweet. So this particular triple cannon can raise and lower a little bit. I didn't really intend for the Deuce and a Half to be carrying this cannon and firing it, but it was originally just designed to be transporting it. However, as I continued to play with it, I ended up using it as a weapons platform. I think if I were going to look at it again, I'd probably add some stabilizers out the side, some outriggers to stabilize the truck while it fired these giant, I don't know if they're laser cannons or projectiles or what, but one way or another. It was big, it was scary, it was awesome, and I've always loved the Deuce and a Half. I actually built this Deuce and a Half partly to remember my father, because he was a huge influence on my life for some reason. So if you have a father in your life, let him know that you love him, because Father's Day is coming up, right? Next month. So, and speaking of fathers, the Looney Tunes sets came out, and this was my dad's favorite character, is Marvin the Martian. So it's pretty awesome. I was able to get one of these for myself and one for my mom so that she could have one. It was cool, though. I gave her the blind bag, and she opened it not having a clue what was inside. She's like, oh, Looney Tunes minifigures. Okay, sure. And she opened it, and she saw the colors and the helmet, and is this Marvin the Martian? Because it was my dad's favorite. Anyway. All right. Well, that's going to be it today for TJ's Lego Room. Again, the instructions are on Remarkable.com right now for both the Deuce and a Half and the triple cannon. I did separate the two. That was just for ease of use. If you wanted to just build the cannon or see how the cannon was made, you're welcome to do that. Both sets of instructions are free. It's kind of a little bit of a thank you for all the patience you guys have had with me and putting up with me for this last week when I really just couldn't get a video out. Needed a week off. So thank you so much for checking out TJ's Lego Room, and we will catch you next week. And until then, play well.